Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. So by now, we have all seen the Roe versus Wade has been overturned. I can't even believe it. Roe versus Wade was a decision that was made back in 1973. And I'm saying back in 1973 like that was a long time ago, because it was. It's so interesting that the government wants to be present in women's uteruses. It's so interesting to me. My personal stance on this, and it has always been, yes, I do believe life is precious, absolutely. But I've lived a little, I'm not too old. I'm about as old as Roe versus Wade. And I'll tell you, I have seen enough women go through so many different situations where they've had to make the toughest decision, like terminating a pregnancy. And to watch someone go through that, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's not something that I've ever experienced, and thank God I've never had to deal with something like that. But I'm telling you, people that I know of, obviously women that I know that have gone through it changes you. It changes you, and every situation has been different. Every single one has been different, from saving their own life because the pregnancy would have been a threat to their own life, to incest, to rape. It's so many different things. And and as much as I am a person that would try to encourage the woman to not do it, I also know that there are instances and situations where these decisions are needed. The choice is needed. And it is not for me or any government entity to be able to tell me or any other woman what they can and cannot do with their bodies. Because that is such a personal and intimate decision. And I just don't think that government should be a part of that. While I love life and life is precious, yes, I can believe in both, because I do. If you don't want an abortion, don't have one. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. But I think the choice should be there, should that decision have to be made. Because there's a myriad of instances where that decision, as tough as I can imagine how it must be to make this type of decision, the choice needs to be there regardless. I know churches have their way of feeling. My church made a stance on it, pro-life. They shut the comments off on their Instagram, which I would too, because they have their stance and and there's scripture that backs them up. But like I said, I'm sensitive to that. I really am. I'm sensitive to that. But I do also know, just from people close to me who have dealt with these very things, the choice should be there. The choice should be there. And criminalizing miscarriages or having to prove that your miscarriage was truly a miscarriage, and criminalizing the morning after pill and all these crazy things that it's almost like a dream. Like, really, we're criminalizing this now? And actually, just so you guys know, miscarriages have already been criminalized in some areas already, because you have to prove that it was really a miscarriage. How do you do that? How do you do that? Do you think I want government, if I ever had a miscarriage or anything of the sort, do you think I would want the government to be in my uterus with that? For what? I don't see none of these government folks who have their mistresses that get pregnant night and day. What are y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna send them across state lines to have abortions too? Because we already know. This is a throwing the baby out with the bathwater type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things that I may not agree with abortions. There's actually plenty that I don't agree with, but I also understand that the need for a woman to be able to choose is important, and it's needed. We don't need to drive women in these back alley places to be getting these under the table abortions. We don't, because they're gonna do it. They're going to do it. And it's going to turn into how things were in the 1950s and 60s, where women were literally using hangers and crazy things to terminate pregnancies and all this. It was just an awful time. You can read up, Google it. I can't say that I'm surprised. In some ways, I'm baffled. In other ways, I'm not surprised at all, quite frankly. We've been moving in this direction for the past several years. And this is why voting is so important, because who you put in office is so important. And people just don't show up to just the presidential election. Primaries. You had primaries going on all this time. You got to get out there and vote in the primaries. November, there are major voting that needs to be done. We can unseat a lot of these toxic and dangerous people. We have conspiracy theorists in Congress. Like, seriously. Anyway, I don't really want to spend much more time on this, because literally I have a headache behind it, because it's sad. It really is sad. And people may say that about, people who are pro-choice, and honestly, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. Honestly, I really don't. I just know that there are many times where I have not agreed with something, but I knew that it was the right thing to do at that time. And I wouldn't want any woman to feel like her back is against the wall or be criminalized for something that is her choice. Especially when there's no aid around to help her after she would have this baby, after she would give birth. Because it's not only just going through the pregnancy, but then the 18 years and change after that. If she's not in a position, now people will say, well, she shouldn't have got pregnant in the first place. Well, you're right. I'm not even going to hold you on that one. It's true. So let's get birth control, universal health care, all of these different things available so that we don't have to deal with the aftermath of unwanted pregnancies. Because people are not going to are not going to stop having sex. So let's just say that. And I know the Christians will pipe in or whatever, but honestly, the saints, because I'm a saint too, saints, y'all need to pipe down, because 40% of y'all are bumping and grinding. And that's a fact. And probably higher than that, honestly. So miss me with that. And just because you sneak off for, a couple of weeks to go get your abortion and then come back like nothing happened. Yeah, I know some people have done that too. Saints. Y'all know who you are. Now, I'm not saying that to berate anybody. What I'm saying is everyone is human and everyone makes mistakes and everyone has the right to make decisions that are going to be best for them. But why don't we start from the root and just teach our young people to protect themselves and why it's so important? Put the onus on not just the woman, but also the male that is involved. Why are men running scot-free? I realize the woman is carrying the baby, but she did not make that baby by herself. Are you up and through the urethras of the men? Are you up and through their nuts and berries? Like how you're in the woman's uterus? See, I'm starting to go down a road I don't want to go. Okay. We're going to keep an eye on this. Just pray for the country that we get the proper people in place that are going to, they don't always have to agree, but they're going to have common sense in their rulings. And this was definitely, in my opinion, not a common sense rule. This was a control rule. And that's always dangerous. Always. But anyway, I don't want this to be too long. So, and I'm ready to go to sleep. You know how it is. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Share it with someone that you think would benefit from it. I think we drop a lot of great nuggets on this podcast. And we talk about everything. We talk about life. I don't shy away from conversations. We have conversations about everything over here. Let me know that you're listening. Tag me on social media at Onyx Queen Media on Instagram. And I will repost you in my stories as a shout out and a thank you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.